bunch of years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, um, I was going through a super, super hard time in my life, and I was having a hard time with my business and everything. And I started going to these seminars, which like help you, think right. And it's
Oh, you
basically
you
all
did?
psycho.
You went to a Tony Robbins thing?
Yeah, yeah. I did a bunch of his like weekend seminars and stuff.
Did you walk
I
on
walked on the coals. I
walked
walked
on
across the
coals?
hot
Yeah.
coals barefoot.
Okay.
Yep, I did it.
All right.
Very powerful. It's psychology. Very, very
Right.
powerful
Sure.
psychological techniques
Yep.
and tools. Right.
Okay.
So I did this one. I don't remember what it was called. It helped me. I was very kind of depressed, and it like helped me a lot. Then they did another one he had another one about business, and I'm in there and I'm learning about business. And I realize as he's saying this, in order for me to be successful, like if I did all the things he was telling, that he was talking about, and I grew my business, that means I
Yeah.
would be destroying my competition, like putting other people out of work. Like
Yeah.
other people would have no money because I would be so successful that these other businesses would go out of business.
And,
And
and
at that point, it kind of clicked like, oh, this is like good for me, but this is not like a sustainable world model because,
And
whoever knows this,
the problem is built into the model itself. It's built into our
if I win,
systems.
you have to lose.
Yes, exactly. That's the current model and paradigm of human life on planet Earth. We are this, and this is gradually becoming outdated by the reality of interdependence. That's exactly what I was saying. Now, why has this never happened before? Because we were never so globally interconnected. Simple as that. Now, there's another aspect. The other aspect, which is again unprecedented, the other aspect which is we're going to see more and more effects of, is our technological capacity, our technological capability. We've never had such a technological capability as we have today. Now, I'm not such it's not about being an avid fan of technology here. All I'm saying is that is a game changer in the sense that today we can potentially provide for all people the stuff that they need. If you go back to human history, again, wars are in many cases, probably the majority of wars in the past were about resources, were about I'm taking care of my people, so I need more land, and I need more water, and I need more whatever it is. So today we're in such a world where it's becoming ridiculous to fight over resources. The more ridiculous it becomes due to technological innovation and progress, the more the problem becomes clear that all we need to do is get along between ourselves. That's our problem. We don't have any other problem in this world. There's nothing missing. There's no shortage of anything. There's just people who need to figure out how to cope with each other, how to reconfigure their social formation in a way that they can rearrange how to relate to each other. I'll try to speak in simpler words. How to treat each other differently so they can rearrange industry and production to for the benefit of everyone, so they can fight less. You know,
So the difference between what we're dealing with in simple language, we've always had problems, we've always had revolutions, we've always had wars, like going back thousands of years. So the difference, the specific,
we still in our minds, in our eyes, in our current thinking, we the public, most of the public today thinks about the world as this spectacle where every country has its borders, has its leaders, has its own problems, its own sovereignty, its own issues, its own conflicts, and its own opposition and conflict between those who are in power and those who are opposing them. But that is not at all how the world works for a long time already. All of the stuff that you see in countries are this is just and how our politicians are describing that they are leading their country and they want to do this thing or that thing. The truth is that there's only a certain level of influence that they have authority over without the involvement of other interests and interdependencies in with other countries and other leaders. The reality is, behind the scenes, is that all those leaders are very much dependent on each other, connected to each other. There's a lot of interests always moving and shaking the system. There's economics is completely involved and intertwined with politics. Geopolitical interests are a lot of take a lot of weight in this picture. And what you have, rather than the spectacle of each country with its own leader and its own borders, what you really have behind the scenes is this giant mess of threads. We talked about the World Economic Forum in the last show or something. What they're right about, I agree with their analysis. They have, you can't, it's hard to argue with analysis that takes all that data and puts it into a structure. They show clearly how today societal risks, technological risks, political risks, economic risks, environmental risks, they're all connected. In simpler words, a hurricane in one place can destroy the economy in another place because the economies are interdependent, which influences how we use natural resources.
Mancini, I saw Mancini wrote before that that his town is, the stores are shut down. If the stores are shut down in his little town in Quebec, the Chinese factory that produces the goods for that little town has no goods to produce and no goods to sell. So the whole thing is constant. You pull one lever here, it affects something all the way on the other side of the world.
And yet we are still in an old mindset.